Good morning. Good morning, Sue. Thursday. Here we are, moving towards the end of the week. Um, let's see. Well, I took the dog to uh, the groomers yesterday, which was fairly uneventful. I went into Costco for the first time in well over a year. It looked pretty much the same. Nothing really changed. Um, we went out to dinner with my kids for the first time in more than a year, um, which was fine. Uh, I think I realized that um, I think it's just more fun to eat at home. I mean, it was fine, but it was, we were driving home. My son said, "Wow, we spent the whole evening there." It's like 9 o'clock now. So he had stuff he wanted to do. So yeah, um, it's funny how your habits change, right? We haven't done it in a long time, and going back to do something that you haven't done in a long time sometimes feels very different. Uh, you may realize that it isn't as much fun, but we talk about this constantly, right? In yoga, this idea that you can't go back, right? You can't turn back time. Even if you try to do things the same as you did a year ago, 5 years ago, whatever, um, it's not going to feel the same. It isn't going to be the same. You have changed. Everything has changed. So our expectations need to adjust, right? Um, we can't feel disappointed that things aren't as they were. They aren't meant to be. They can never be, right? Things have moved on. We have moved on. Being understanding of this and accepting, right? So, two things: understanding. That's the first thing, and we strive with that in all of the things that we talk about in yoga, right? Understanding, knowledge, being aware of the things that are happening, right? That's the first part. The second part is acceptance, right? This is different than understanding. You can intellectually understand something, but until you accept it in your heart, it's still something separate. Um, you can still have a lot of really uh, conflicted feelings about it, right? You may know something to be true, but you may dislike it or be angry about it or resent it, right? Um, Acceptance is the next step. We move beyond just our cognitive understanding to accepting it, to embodying it, to allowing it to be as it is. Right? This is important, um, because a lot of times people spend their whole life struggling and fighting against something that is true and inevitable. Um, they uh, they are conflicted about it. They are uh, dissatisfied. Right? Um, it's all wasted energy, right? If something is true, then why not accept it to be true? Why um, fight it? Why look for the loophole? you know, why why be angry about it? Why be resentful or sad? Um, all of that energy that you spent on those things and those feelings can be put towards something more productive when we just accept. Right? Um, acceptance. Acceptance is connected, it's related to this idea of surrender, right? Surrendering to something greater than us, something larger than us. The truth is certainly something larger than us. Um, it is, um, again, uh, it is what it is. And we can accept it or we can fight it. Which will change it? None. Nothing will change it. Um, which will change how you feel about it, right? Um, there are enough things in life that we can change, right? There are a lot of things, right? We have the ability to change so much in our life, um, to change where we're going, our direction, our path. Um, these are the things we want to put our energy towards, not feeling regretful about things past or our inability to um, hold everything in time, right? Um, this is something that I think a lot of people do struggle with. This idea that we everything seems so good, right? And uh, we don't know what might be next, so we're afraid. We don't want to just step into what's next. We want everything to stay. Um, but that is what makes things bad, right? Holding on, staying still, and expecting everyone to be the same as they always were. Um, and they can't be because nothing stays the same. It's good and it's bad, right? It's bad if you are in a state where you're happy, where everything is good. You think, why should anything change? But, you know, maybe things aren't going so well. And maybe it will make you feel better to know that things will change. Um, the uncertainty is what makes people upset, right? That that level of uncertainty and um, unpredictability. But that's the nature of life. Life is ultimately unpredictable. It is random with a purpose. Right? I think of it as random with a purpose. So there is a lot of um, things that happen for no particular reason, right? We we talk about karma. We talk about action having a reaction, and this is all true, but it's not the end of it. Um, your action you may not feel immediately the repercussions of your actions, right? So life isn't, it's not like a vending machine. You don't put in good deeds and then good things come out for you. um, and not so directly, right? uh, it's it's less direct, right? You may put in a lot of good deeds, and for a good long time you're not really getting any payoff from that. You may be reaping the consequences of this other person's actions, right? Um, it's a framework that does not make sense to us on a small scale. But I guarantee you, on a large scale, there is a purpose. Um, it's just not always our purpose, right? And I think that's the part that's hard, right? It's hard to accept that you're only one tiny little bit, one tiny little piece of the puzzle. It's maybe not your turn for the good things. Despite all the good things you're doing, it's not going to matter just at this moment. But cumulatively over time, the tides turn. Um, at least we hope they do. But there are lots of people caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, right? They're in a country, you can be doing all the good in the world, but if your country's caught in the middle of a war zone, or there's, civil unrest, things are going on in your country, some terrible things can happen that have nothing to do with the good that you've been doing. Um, we are all, hostages to circumstances, right? Certainly the pandemic. What does that have to do with it all? Um, I mean, in a larger sense, the pandemic is a form of karma, right? It's a karmic reaction to, and I've heard people talk about this, that a consequence of destroying our environment and making contact with some of these animals and creatures that we weren't really meant to be in close contact with. We inevitably, the results are poor. So yeah, we all pay the price for um, something that has been going on in terms of us using up our resources, expanding outwards, taking up space that's meant for maybe animals. Um, you know, will we learn these lessons? I don't know. I hope so. I hope we will change some of the ways we do things. But as with everything, frequently the lessons are hard learned, and they aren't. They come at a price. My dad used to say, I always had to learn things the hard way, and I think he was right. As a young person, I was not very inclined to take anyone's word for anything. Um, I didn't really care for other people's advice. I wanted to find things out for myself. And that meant learning things the hard way. What it might have been better to listen to what someone said. Um, I had to make the mistake. And I find I do that a lot. I, I'm better now, I think. I think I'm better at listening to the knowledge of others, and listening to my own internal knowledge, right? Um, so that's an important part of uh, getting in touch with that spirit and the internal intuition that we all have, kind of developing that and developing an awareness of that, what that feels like and what it sounds like for you. Um, that can help, you not make um, a lot of mistakes. Um, I mean, you're still going to make mistakes, right? But it can give you some guidance. Let's put it that way. And I think in this day and age, we need that more than ever, right? We are bombarded by suggestions and information, and um, you know, 10, 10 great tips about this, or 10 reasons why you should buy this, or whatever. Too much information, really, and none of it. Um, information without responsibility, right? It's all anonymous. It's all online, and written by who knows who and what their deal is. Um, so more than ever, I think getting in touch with that knowledge within is important. It's going to help you not necessarily learn everything the hard way. But I will tell you, learning things the hard way isn't so bad. Experience is the best teacher. And there's a whole Yoga Sutra about this, that the advice that we give people, the suggestions, the um, the lessons we try to teach others are generally falling on deaf ears. People need to learn things for themselves. It's the only way um, that lessons really stick, and people take things more seriously. Giving people advice, um, telling people, right, pointing out people their flaws or their mistakes, or when they are doing something that is bad, or bad for them. It's not. If you've ever tried that, um, you'll know it's not well received. And I think it's amazing that thousands of years ago, many knew this then too, right? It's gonna fall on deaf ears. In fact, the sutra says you're lucky if they don't attack you for it, right? And I mean, who hasn't experienced that, where you know the hostility is actually turned on you when you point out something that is someone is doing that is bad for them, or not helpful for them. Um, so, you know, we worry about our own actions. We let others learn for themselves. Um, because ultimately, yoga it's a process of self-exploration, of um, self-improvement in in a way, but it's self-discovery, right? It's discovering that you don't need to be improved, that you are perfect. Um, if you could just get out of your way, right? If you could just listen to that voice within, you will find your place. You will make decisions that are positive for you. You will um, let that voice inside shine out. Um, it's all the things that are been put on top of that are the problem, right? If we can just we can just dig our way out, and let that center shine, we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a much easier time in life, and we're going to enjoy things more. So become friendly with your interior self. And I think it's really amazing that people are so afraid of their inside, right? People want a lot of noise. They want a lot of stuff going on because they're afraid of what's inside. In truth, what's inside is beautiful and wonderful. It's what we've piled on top that's the problem, right? Think of your internal self as, some beautiful diamond that is of such value and of such beauty, but you laid it, in a closet, and then you piled everything that you own on top of it, right? So it's down in there, but you can't, it's hard to access. You're not even, you sort of know it's in there, but you maybe have forgotten about it because it's underneath all this other junk. And then trying to get at it means going through a lot of stuff. It means um, cleaning things out, getting rid of a lot of these things that are weighing you down. Um, but it doesn't change the beauty of that diamond. It's always the same. It's shining in there, even if you can't see it. Um, so the meditation, the self reflection, all of these things are trying to find a path through the coats and the broken vacuum cleaners and the boxes and everything that you've stored. Um, find a path, right? You don't have to get rid of all that stuff right away. It's hard to get rid of that stuff. Um, we hold it so tight because it feels like who we are. It's not, but it feels like that, right? once we've worked our way in and we have a little connection, we see how unimportant and how useless all of these broken things are. And we can start tossing them, getting rid of them, making that path clearer. At least we hope so. All right, let's do a little asana. So I have birds outside my window. I think a bird is building a nest here. There's an air conditioner in the window here, and I think they've built one on top of it. I've been watching, and then there's another one by the air conditioner in one floor up. And I hear every year they're there. And I can't see them because there's a piece of wood to hold the air conditioner in. But I can hear them every morning, and when they have babies, you can hear the babies chirping, and it's very cute. But I wish I could see them. I got to figure out a way to see them. But it's all around, right? Spring, everything is growing and everything is reproducing and getting more and more. It's my favorite time of year, I would say. I like fall as well. Fall is, but it's a different time, right? Fall is more, I think, kind of meditative, and we're kind of getting ready for that winter of not a lot going on. But there's a real anticipation to spring that I always enjoy. Okay, let's move around a little. So we're sitting up. Breathe. And then drop the chin down toward the chest. Relax the shoulders. Moving head around, big circle. One way and then the other. Lean forward, we'll move around. Back up to your seat, arms wide, take a breath. Exhale, hands come together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace the fingers. Lift the hands, we're gazing up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. Once more, lifting up. Right arm by your side, reach across. Then switch. Back up, lift the shoulders, roll back. And forward. Left hand on right knee, right arm behind. Sit tall and twist. Back to center, switch sides. And back to center. Tabletop. Sitting back on the heels. Moving back up. Tabletop to downward dog. And then walk the feet up. Rising up slowly. Standing tall. Breath in and breath out. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. On the exhale, we're stepping back with the right foot. Drop the knee. Lift the arms. Hands down to the mat. Stepping back. Downward dog. Inhale, high plank. Lower down. Inhale, cobra. Just a little cobra, then lower. Inhale, lift. Lower. Once more, lift. And lower. And then we're going to move back up to tabletop and then downward dog. So you can just lift. You can lift up, tabletop to downward dog, or you can do upward dog to downward dog. Your choice. One more breath. Then right foot steps up. Left knee drops. Arms overhead. Hands down to the mat. Back foot steps up. Fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift high. And back to mountain. Inhale, lift. Fold on the exhale. Flat back. And then left foot steps back. Set the knee down. Arms overhead. Hands down to the mat. We're moving back. Downward dog. Forward to high plank. And then lower down. Inhale. You can come up to cobra or upward dog. Moving back to downward dog. Lift the arms and hands down by the foot. Back foot steps up. Fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Lift the arms. Back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Let's come down to a seat. Soles of the feet together. Deep breath. Lean forward. Back up. Left knee out in front. Right leg on top. Getting the knees lined up as much as you can. Take a breath. Lean forward. I'm going to feel some stretch through this outer part of the thigh down towards the hip. Back up. Let's move it around. So we're have the opposite thing going on here. Take a breath. Lean forward. Back up, both legs out in front. Take a deep breath. Fold forward. Back up, let's point and flex the feet. Rotate through the ankles. If this feels weird or crunchy, if it hurts or whatever, don't do it. But sometimes if, you know, the ankle is kind of unstable or, you know, tight, it'll feel a little weird, and maybe a little crackly. My ankles tend to creak and crack a bit. So proceed with caution. Lowering down. Take a few breaths, getting comfortable. And then we're going to bring right ankle on left knee. Working your supine pigeon, however that is for you. Set the foot down. We're going to keep that right ankle on the knee. Arms to a T or goalpost arms, and then that knee lowers down to the left. Gaze right. Back up. And switch things around. Set your foot down, and then we're going to lower, gazing left. And we're back. Both feet back onto the mat. Setting up for bridge. Let's do one regular bridge and then a supported bridge. So we've got heels back, close to the body, hands by your side, feet about hip width apart, lifting up. Then lowering down, soles of the feet together, knees apart. Take a couple of breaths. And then knees back to center. We're going to do supported bridge. So get your block, lifting up. We'll just have a few moments here. Lifting up. Bring the block out. You can bring soles of the feet together again. Relax and breathe. And then moving into Savasana here, you could stay in this pose. You could extend the legs. If that feels more relaxing for you. Whatever helps you feel at peace and content. That's what we want. So steady with the breath. Focus on the sensations in the body. Keeping our attention here and now. We spend our lives seeking something, looking for contentment and peace in things and people and places, and thinking that this is something we can buy or work really hard and achieve, right? When in truth, everything we seek, all source of happiness, contentment, knowledge, peace, everything we hold within. This is another thing that we understand. We may understand, but we don't necessarily accept, right? We may believe that it is true because we've heard it's true, we've read it's true, it sounds true, feels true, but we have not accepted it. We still have fear. We still have that belief that other people know better, or there's something we can do or buy or work really hard at to change everything, right? But you don't have to change anything. You just have to trust. You just have to look within. This is the source of security, of peace, of mind, of all of the things that we want. We already have, right? We just have to step into that. Strike up a conversation with that interior self. Get to know yourself. Trust and take that leap of faith. It's very worth it. So when you're ready, moving about a little bit, making your way up to a seat if you'd like, hands together, take a breath in and out. Thank you for taking time this morning for your practice and for sharing it with me. I hope that you have a very good Thursday. Namaste. Okay. Let's do some meditation. 5 minutes, right? I gotta get my cushion. So sitting comfortably, however you want to do that. Maybe you have a cushion, maybe you don't. Maybe you have a chair, I don't know. Whatever you want to do. Breathing comfortably. Okay, back again. Take a breath in and a breath out. So a little yoga, a little meditation, a little Dharma talk, a little food for thought. Not a bad way to start the day. All right, I'll be back tomorrow, which will be Friday. Enjoy your day.